Alright, so this is Verify You Are Human from the Huntress CTF 2025 Challenge. This is labeled as malware. So we're going to be doing most of the dissecting in a virtual machine in my Kali. So go ahead and connect to the machine. When you're first brought up here, you're brought to a fake Microsoft page. Verify you're human. Not going to touch any of that. If you inspect here and you go down, there's a script. And there's a function called unsecured copy to clipboard. So this seems pretty interesting. So let's copy this and let's pop this into Notepad++. It's just text. And so what we're going to do is take a look here. So it looks like this is attempting to copy something to the clipboard, right? Without the user's knowledge. I haven't dissected this code. It's not really important towards getting the flag, but that's what I assume it's doing. Here we're given some base64 text. So let's go ahead and decode this. And we're going to use CyberChef. And we're going to do the magic tool, paste that in there. And it looks like, okay, so it's trying to run PowerShell. Looks like it's trying to maybe drop something in local app data folder and then picking a random number, saving it as a .ps1, a PowerShell script. And it's okay, so here's our next step. We're given a URL that's, I assume it's attempting to reach out to. So tick 1. So the next stage of the payload is going to be this. So let's go here. Okay, and this is literally just text that we're given. Interesting. Looks like it's heavily obfuscated here. And then, okay, so here's our next stage, and let's go ahead and go there. Okay, so interesting. This is giving you like a PDF or well, we assume PDF, but that's not really what it is. This is actually a zip file. So I have this saved. If you do a wget on this page, you can save it. Oh, it's in here. I saved it as tick2 .zip, and when you unzip it, you're gonna get the actual malware. So if we take a look here, looks like there's some PYC files. There's a python.exe. Right, so looks like there's a socket, right? So the thing we want to look at immediately is this output.py. So if we look at this, kind of interesting, right? So we've got a bunch of base64 text. It's attempting to execute something, trying to execute this, right? So let's take this base64 text. This is very common in actual malware out in the field. Let's paste this in, and it looks like we have a Zor decrypt function, and we've got some apparently shellcode, right? So this is still in Python, right? So essentially what this is doing is it's taking the shellcode that's in base64, attempting to undo the Zor on it and then turning it into a byte array, and then it's attempting to take this shellcode and I guess make room in memory in some sort of DLL. I'm assuming that's what's happening here. I'm a little rusty on my shellcode stuff, but I think that's essentially what's happening here, right? So what I've done when I was doing this challenge is I've taken this and I have constructed a Python file called here. Let's open this in a terminal, and I'm going to zoom in some more here. Let's go to my malware. Okay, so let's view the test.py. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken the shellcode and I'm going to, I basically just want to print it, right? So also when you're doing this challenge, I strongly suggest that you install Pwn tools, PWN tools, the Python package. It'll really help you. It makes it super easy. So yeah, what I've essentially done is here's the cipher, here's the key, right? In the shellcode, we want to do a Zord decrypt using the cipher and the key. Okay, that's essentially what it's doing. There's the key for the Zord decrypt, and then we're going to take that byte array and we're going to print it in various formats and yeah, see which one makes sense, right? And when we do that, let's run python test.py. When we run this, we get, yeah, so we're not done yet. You know, this is a pure byte array, and it's not really readable to us, right? So we're going to use Pwn tools, and we're going to give it the context architecture of i386, and we're going to disassemble the shellcode like you just saw there. Okay, and when we disassemble it, we get these sets of instructions. Okay, so we can see that this data is being pushed onto the stack in little endian format, and then as look, and so here's the XOR, and we're taking the dword pointer, which is our key. This is the key, and it's being XORed with what's on the stack, right? So that's the key. That's the next step. So now I have another Python file that's going to explain this. Okay, so essentially, yeah, so when you analyze this, the byte, like the raw byte array, there's references to IMM32 instructions, which is indicative of the i386, you know, 32-bit architecture, right? So then you can kind of assume that you know, we're dealing with some shellcode here. We're gonna have to disassemble, right? So that was the key thing to sort of look at, you know, because I know I was in the Discord. A lot of people were getting stuck at that point. They're like, I don't know what to do with this like byte array, right? So that was the key. And yes, I did use ChatGPT because I'm not a genius. So anyways, here's our byte array, and it's in little endian format, meaning that the least significant byte is last. Yeah, last. Okay. Then we have our shell, our XOR key. So what we've done is all you have to do is take the first data, XOR it with the key, and do that consecutively for each piece of data. And then you'll get your XORed ciphertext. And then And then what we're doing is, so because the shellcode used a lot of push IMM32, the final buffer is assembled on the stack in the reverse order of appearance, right? So what that means is that we're take your hex bytes, convert them into ASCII, and you get your flag, right? But what that essentially means is you do it in reverse order of appearance, meaning you start from what was last pushed on the stack, and you do it in reverse order. So 66, right? And then you would do 6C, and then 61. So essentially like that. And when you convert all of those consecutively in order, you get your flag. Hopefully that made sense. I feel like I kind of stumbled through that, but you know, again, I'm still learning, but that's the way I understand it. Yeah, this challenge was pretty interesting.